Okay, Isabel, I think you're doing a great job with this club face. And the most important thing that you can do is, I think gradually we're going to add a little more wrist hinge here. Maybe not. I want you to work on it for now and then see how it goes. But we come back to our main points is, when you come down, we don't want as much drop and pull, right? We don't want too much of that. And now, as you come down, your right palm, if you look at the palm, your fingers in your palm of your right hand, still pointed this way, and this is still a little bit open. So I'd like to have this over here a little bit. So that would mean a little bit earlier to turn that face down. Now, if you do it this way, sometimes you'll get a really good one, right? But you can't always depend on it. That's the big difference. So the earlier you turn it down, the more the better chance we have of keeping the club face square. So a couple things I pointed out today that were a little more going down the road to work on. You have a habit of swaying your weight a little too far off the ball onto your back foot. So when you make you have a beautiful shoulder turn and nice extension to your arm. When you make that turn, just try to keep that weight like more centered over the ball. You know, like don't let you definitely can't let it shift to the outside of your foot because there's very, very little recovery from that. We're going to gradually work on a little more wrist hinge, but nothing is going to be at the expense of doing what we're doing, which is getting the club square for you. And instead of pulling the handle, I want you to work on swinging the club head. And if you find that your alignment is good and you are in fact hitting them off to the right, you'll know why. This right here, the 80% of the initial direction the ball flies, not necessarily the curve on the ball, but 80% of the initial direction of the shot is the club face. So it's kind of big. Well, it is a big deal. It's the biggest deal, the club face. And you have a habit of leaving it open when you pull down too long. So I want you to realize that's primarily what we're doing for you. Not this other stuff I'm talking about plays into it. Maybe keep your head down just a little bit longer if you want. Wrist cock a little bit better. But as long as you turn that down, you're going to do much better with square. You hit some beautiful shots today. Last thing I mentioned is as you come down, if you hit the ball fat, you can feel like this heel comes up a little bit earlier and your weight travels a little bit earlier to your left side. But if you don't sway off the ball as much, if you keep it inside that right foot, I think you'll have less shots fat anyway. Your problem is two things, some fat shots and shots that go off to the right. Off to the right is releasing the club, turning it down, and fat is not always, is swaying too much to the right side when you go back. Okay? So keep those in mind and have a good winter season, and we'll see you in the spring. And hopefully you and your family are going to get a group for golf school. Look forward to having you.